I was happy. I was real happy because he was my first son, and that's what I wanted. I wanted 4 boys, but God gave me 2 girls, and I didn't complain. I love them just as equal. I moved him out of Oneiko, and we moved into the home, into a nice area in Bradenton. It's a nice area. It's quiet, it's peaceful. You don't got all that boom, boom, pow, pow. We had peace, and that's why I moved him away from out of Oneiko. And they took him like a thief in the night. Just took him, just took him. And he can't come back. It's just the little things. It's not the big things. It's the little things I miss from my son. I miss him walking through the house. I miss my son so much.
It's a nice little town, nice little old Florida town, and lots of charm. Well, when you look at the size Bradenton is and Manatee County, and you wouldn't normally expect to have such a large problem with gangs that we have.
When we first started, literally there were drug dealers coming to your car because they wanted to sell you drugs in the middle of the day. That's how crazy it was in Pride Park. Survival is what they do in the streets. That's not real living, that's survival. You gotta slang dope to make a living, or a prostitute, or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? And so what we're trying to do is keep them from that.
Gangs typically are involved in lots of different illegal enterprises, drug trafficking, home invasions, robbery, violent types of activities. We've worked with kids that have been shot and killed. It can be very deadly. It's a real life scenario for these kids, and it's with life and death consequences.
It was real out here every day, like the battlefield, you know? You know what I mean? Different people killing over who gonna buy dope from this person or whatever, you know, stuff like that.
Gangs, it's always kids looking for somebody to hang with and to be a part of a group, you know, and it's everybody's need.
They teaching me life. I ain't had no daddy, you know what I mean? My mama had done left my daddy, you know what I mean? And from what my daddy showed me was wild. So I'm 11 years old, toting a pistol down here.
It's a mentality of nothing ever gonna make it, so I gotta do what I have to do to make it. And that's the mentality. So get out of my way. Nobody's more important than me because I gotta eat. My belly's hungry at night.
The YMCA has a long history doing outreach type programs, working with youth, working with young people. If you're gonna work with teens in Manatee County, you really can't ignore gang activity.
Changing the world. We're hitting the neighborhood today, just, hey kids, what's going on? You know how we go.
We started working at a real street level in the neighborhood that we felt like had the highest incidence of gang activity.
You gonna be ready, like, tomorrow maybe to talk? All right, give me some knuckles. Love you, boys.
We hired an intervention specialist to start working in the streets with the kids, getting to know the kids, understanding the problem.
Suppression, intervention, and prevention have to work together because you can't lock them all up. But what you can do is you work the intervention, prevention. The intervention is getting in the kid's life when he's involved in gangs, all right, and you go to him and you just tell him, hey bro, this is wrong, and there's a way out. The prevention is getting his little brother and his little sister and just playing a father figure role or a mother figure role and beginning to raise him and teach him and equip him to not do what big brother or cousin or uncle or whoever's influencing. So we'll have you at Bay Shore. They're lifting weights right now, but I gotta get your paperwork signed out. You wanna meet them today, the coach and all that? How come? Because you're playing games, huh?
You have to have somebody that's able to relate easily to this group of kids, and someone that these kids can see themselves in and they can learn to trust. The kids that we work with on the street, they can smell a phony real quick.
Have you been talking to Jesus at all? You better start talking to Jesus every day, son. You hear me? Get over here.
The first time somebody will read a Bible will be in your actions. You don't need to read to them Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. You need to demonstrate Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
You got here when you were like 10, 11?
I remember that early in the morning, breakfast time.
Oh yeah, we had that Jesus Club.
You was walking around trying to flex your muscles. That's when you was younger. You were younger.
Macho's one of the first young men I met out here about, 6 years ago, and we started playing football, and these kids were in trouble. They were not just gangbanging, but just being hoodlums, and just began to build a relationship with him.
As Jerry ended up coming to Harley, trying to teach us about God, trying to help us out, teach us the right way to live. Started playing basketball, football, keeping us out of trouble.
Halftime! Let's go in.
That's all.
So what are your dreams and goals right now? What do you want to do? You want to go to school?
Yeah, I need to.
Because you got that baby. You got to have a relationship with people to help them and put them in a different direction. It takes a long time, but the reality of it is we can really, really change his future. And he's been doing really, really well. The last time you prayed?
Oh, man. I ain't prayed in a while. So like I told you, I ain't gonna lie to you guys, Jerry.
I know you love Jesus, so let you kill me.
If you're going to be effective working in programs like this, you really need to do it through partners and with partnerships. Not one entity can take on something that's so large.
You live on this block? Yeah, look, we're gonna be down there mowing and stuff, okay? All right. Bless you guys.
We work with churches such as Cornerstone. Every Saturday, they have men and women and volunteers doing Adopt-A-Block programs out in Pride Park. They're picking up trash, they're mowing lawns, they're cooking food, they're talking to the kids. They have a Sunday school program.
And this is how you change the world. You love them, care them, meet their needs, and that's the simplest way to share Jesus with somebody. How old are you, man?
22.
Are you really? You in school? It's just showing the neighborhood how important they are. Just building relationships is really what we're doing today.
There's just a lot of joy and camaraderie, and we come together as a church serving. It also blesses our relationships and bonds us together, and I think it does bless the community. We've met some precious, precious people and been able to pray with a lady who is pregnant with twins, another lady who's going to be kicked out of her house soon.
And you can call me, okay? And I'll help you with this, okay?
Everyone has a capacity to help. The Y is built and stands on Christian principles, and I think that that's one principle that is clear. We all have the ability to do something.
You can mow here and here, and they're already ready to go. They're ready to go. Oh, over there. Jesus said, feed the homeless, clothe the naked, do the work of the evangelist. Take care of the widows and the orphans. That's what we're doing here. We're just following Jesus' lead and doing what Jesus would do. If you believe in Jesus, that he died on the cross, rose again, he's coming back, that's the church that needs to be in the street, caring for the hurting and broken. And that's the key. That's the folks we need out here. We don't need religious people. We need people that love Jesus.
We can be defined as a great community if we will focus on looking at those kids that have all the obstacles and keep them in our focus and understand that that child is just as important. Every kid matters or no kid matters.
If Pastor Jerry wasn't out here, I don't even know. Probably worse. Probably worse or locked up. Cause I really didn't care, you feel me? He made me believe that my life is worth living.
This is why he died on Calvary, for that very kid that is revealing himself at 7 years old. It's religion. It's not relationship. It's heartbreaking because you hear it every day, and not from these people. You hear it from church folks. You hear it from folks. Well, I've never used drugs. I've never drank. I've never even put a cigarette to my mouth. But have you ever won anybody to Jesus? Have you ever fed a homeless person? Have you ever clothed a little boy that didn't have any clothes? Have you ever cared for somebody that no one's caring for? That's all Jesus is asking for. That's all he's I can see him in heaven right now just screaming, going, are you kidding me? What are you doing? What are you doing?